It's been around 9 months now since Lucid Motors launched onto the EV scene with the promise that they could take electric cars to the next level of both performance and luxury. They certainly made a big splash with their first vehicle announcement, the Lucid Air sedan, and ever since then, the company has been surrounded by plenty of hype, controversy, and some very impressive marketing strategies. There have been a lot of developments with Lucid and the world of electric vehicles since we last talked about them, so now feels like a good time to check in and see just what's up with Lucid in 2021. Hey Elonites and Musketeers, welcome to the Tesla space where we share the latest news, rumors, and insights into all things Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk. So let's get one thing out of the way right off the top, because obviously this is a Tesla fanboy channel and we have to assert our dominance. Is Lucid the long-rumored Tesla killer? No. Obviously, they are in no place to even be competitive with Tesla, let alone a legitimate rival. If for no other reason than Tesla currently sell 5 different cars, and Lucid is trying to figure out how to sell like 5 different versions of the same car sometime within the next 2 or 3 years. Lucid is optimistically hoping to be selling 20,000 cars per year, while Tesla is ramping up to sell multiple hundreds of thousands of cars per quarter. So they don't really stack up on a company-wide level. But what about on the product level? Pound for pound, does the Lucid Air compete against the Tesla Model S? Yeah, absolutely. According to the spec sheets and marketing, the Air is probably a better car than the Model S. The Lucid Air Dream Edition is probably going to be the best electric car ever made, if it lives up to everything that's been promised. And that's the tricky thing. No one outside of Lucid has even ever driven the Air. So for now, at least, we just have to take their word for it. Lucid is in the early stages right now of trying to establish their brand identity, and over the past few months, they have been gunning hard to slot themselves into position as a luxury brand of automaker, which is a really great approach for the company to take, especially as they try to break into the market and differentiate themselves from Tesla. The benchmark that Lucid seems to keep comparing themselves against is Mercedes-Benz. They see the Air as more of an alternative to the S-Class than the Model S, and that makes a lot of sense. Tesla are really not a luxury brand. They absolutely make nice cars that are a ton of fun to drive and have really amazing tech inside them, but when it comes to the overall fit and finish and comfort level, Tesla do tend to fall short of other brands. That's something that Lucid has really been focusing on in their recent series of YouTube videos that feature CEO Peter Rawlinson driving the beta version of the Air Dream Edition out on the roads. Peter riffs very elegantly about how amazing the car is to drive, while pointing out minor little things that are just not quite perfect enough and have to be fixed before the car is truly ready for production. He'll mention things like the feeling of a switch is not up to par, or they need to fine-tune the resistance of the regenerative braking by 0.5 of a G or smooth out the steering response under one specific situation. It really drives home the idea that they are not releasing this car yet because it has to be absolutely 100% perfect before they can do that. Peter references Swiss watches sometimes in the video when he's talking about the cars and getting the details right. I get the feeling like he really wants Lucid to be the Rolex of car makers. Or maybe they're just buying time and waiting out a microchip shortage. It's hard to say exactly, and we were supposed to see the first production version of the Lucid Air being delivered in spring of 2021, but now that's been delayed until the second half of 2021. The official reasoning from Lucid was that they didn't want to rush the car out to production and that it just needed more time for refinement before they were happy to sell it. Like I said, the automotive industry is also suffering from a massive chip shortage right now, so maybe that's a coincidence and they're not related? I don't know, it might be. Now I can understand why Lucid is so concerned with putting their best foot forward. They are a fairly new company, they've only really been around for about 5 years, and this is their very first product. Expectations are very high, especially for the first release of the Lucid Air, which will be their top-tier Dream Edition. Coming in at $169,000, this is definitely pulling the price tag of a very premium vehicle. The Dream Edition is limited to just 500 production units, and they're all sold out as of right now, according to Lucid. That doesn't mean that every pre-order will turn into a sale, but it is a promising result. Last I checked, Lucid was aiming to deliver just under 600 cars this year, so that would mean all of the Dream Editions delivered, plus a few of the Grand Touring models. Both the Dream Edition and the Grand Touring claim to have an EPA range of over 500 miles, which is very impressive. That's quite a bit more than any Tesla vehicle that has been released so far. The Tesla Model S Plaid Plus is advertised with a slightly longer range, but we won't be seeing those until about 1 year from now. So we'll give that to Lucid. They will have more range than Tesla for this year if their numbers come true. And as for speed, the Lucid cars fall a bit behind the benchmark set by the Tesla Model S. The Dream Edition Air can do 0 to 60 seconds in a claimed 2.5 seconds, which is about the same as last year's Model S performance, but nowhere near as impressive as the new Model S Plaid at 1.99 seconds. And that's fine. The Lucid cars are more than fast enough, especially if their number one priority is comfort and luxury. If anything, Tesla might get a little bit carried away with their power delivery. They've become a bit obsessed with having the fastest acceleration possible, and that might be the reason why Lucid are able to achieve the extra range. They sacrifice a little bit of power delivery in order to maintain a longer battery life. That would make sense to me, at least. Lucid would have you believe that the reason they have more range without needing bigger batteries is their technology is a generation ahead of leading EV manufacturer, aka Tesla. Lucid won't give any details on why their technology is better. They don't break down exactly how their systems work, or what battery chemistry they use, or any of that other really nerdy stuff that Tesla are happy to talk about for hours on end. And again, that's perfectly fine. Most people don't care about how their car works. They just want a good car that's nice to drive. Hey, by the way, did you know that we have our very own Tesla Space newsletter? Yeah, there's a link down below in the description to sign up if you're interested. Now, much like Elon Musk is the public face of Tesla, Peter Rawlinson is the face of Lucid Motors. Peter and Elon know each other, they have a history, and they don't really seem to like each other. Or at least Elon does not like Peter, that's for sure. One of the big credentials that Peter Rawlinson claims on his resume is that he was the chief engineer on the Tesla Model S project. Back in the early days of Lucid, people were kind of under the impression that Peter had basically created the Model S, which would be a very big deal. Peter told this really vivid story in an interview about how Elon Musk had begged him to come in and help Tesla with the Model S, and when Peter arrived, the whole project was a disaster, and he had to tell Elon that the whole car needed to be redone from scratch. Peter says that Elon told him to do it, and that's how Peter Rawlinson designed the Model S. I'll put the text of the whole story up on the screen so you can pause if you want to read it, but it's a little too long for us to go through right now. Anyways, Elon Musk, on the other hand, has been pretty quick to shut down Peter's claims in a very brutal fashion. In September, Elon tweeted, "Rawlinson didn't design Model S. Prototype was done before he joined, and he left us in the lurch just as things got tough, which was not cool. He did make some contributions to body/chassis engineering, but not to powertrain, battery, electronics, or software." And then just recently, on May 3rd, Elon took another swing at Rawlinson's claims, just in case people didn't hear him the first time. Elon wrote, "Rawlinson was never chief engineer. He arrived after Model S prototype was made, left before things got tough, and was only ever responsible for body engineering, not powertrain, battery, software, production, or design." This was all a very long time ago, going back at least 10 years, so it's hard to say what the truth really is. Both of them are probably having a bit of selective memory. There is an old Tesla blog post from 2010 that names Rawlinson as chief vehicle engineer, and in an old Tesla YouTube video, there is a reference to Rawlinson as vice president of engineering. Regardless of what exactly Peter Rawlinson did or didn't do while he was working at Tesla, one thing that you can't deny about this dude is that he can sell the shit out of a car. Just listening to this man talk about Lucid Air, it's like butter. He's amazing at what he does, and Lucid was incredibly smart to hire this guy. If we step away from the cars for a little bit here, the thing that has really been dominating the news with Lucid for the past few months is their merger with the company Churchill Capital, also known as CCIV, on the stock market. Churchill Capital is what's called a SPAC, or Special Purpose Acquisition Company, which is a company with no commercial operations that is formed strictly to raise capital through an initial public offering for the purpose of acquiring an existing company. So basically, CCIV exists solely to sell stock, make money, and then merge with Lucid. Buying stock in CCIV right now is pretty much the same as buying stock in Lucid Motors, or something like that. As we often say, this isn't a financial channel. Anyway, what I do know for sure is that back in January and February of 2021, EV stocks like Tesla and NIO were flying high. The hype was real, and as soon as people got wind that this CCIV and Lucid merger was going down, people started buying up CCIV thinking that they were getting in on the ground level of the next Tesla. CCIV stock prices quickly ramped up from $10 per share in early January up to $55 per share in mid to late February. I think that's what investment types call euphoria. So by late February, some doubts started to creep in and crash the whole party over at Lucid. They admitted that they wouldn't actually be delivering any cars in spring 2021 like they promised they would, and this caused the stock price of CCIV to drop like a sack of hammers, back down to around $30 per share. And it's been on a slow decline ever since, coming in at around $17 per share as of right now. So clearly, that's not ideal. And Lucid aren't doing much to help themselves these days. They continue to dodge questions about how their cars actually work, or how well their battery technology holds up over time or in cold climates. In a recent interview, Peter Rawlinson was asked whether Lucid can still live up to their target of delivering 20,000 cars next year. And Peter couldn't really give a straight answer to that. He says that they are flooded with pre-orders for the cars, but won't say exactly how many or what trim levels are being bought. And overall, it's just not helping with the whole uncertainty aspect of it all. There are some other concerning factors, like how Lucid manages to spend so much money without having made a single dime in sales. We know the company is bankrolled by Saudi Arabia, but they really spend a shit ton of money for a startup. The Lucid board of directors is stacked with really top-level, experienced players that have come over to Lucid from brands like Volkswagen, Tesla, Apple, Google, the list goes on. I don't know what exactly all of these people are doing at a company that doesn't even sell a product yet, but I'm sure they're being very well paid to do it. And that doesn't exactly mean that anything sketchy is going on. It's just not usual for a startup company to get this nuts so early on. Typically, you start lean and then build up and bring in more fancy people as you grow, not right at the beginning. But I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just calling things as I see them. There are plenty of people out there who will tell you that the CCIV stock is an amazing buy at the price it is, and you should be investing thousands of dollars into this right now. And they might be right about that. We are just admittedly very skeptical after we've seen what's happened to other companies promising the world and delivering nothing, like Nikola. So I guess we'll all just have to see. But what do you think? Is Lucid still a company to be excited about? Are you throwing money into CCIV? Let us know in the comments section down below. Also, be sure to sign up for our newsletter for more Tesla news and speculation. We send out one email per week, and it's a really fun and easy read to catch up on all things Elon Musk related. When you do sign up, be sure to check your various inboxes and move us over to the main inbox so your valuable Tesla space info doesn't get mixed in with the spam or promotions. If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.